Now, you have to have some good Andre the Giant stories.
I tell people Andre the Giant is the only man I beat continuously. And they look at me like I'm some kind of weirdo. But I did. I beat him constantly.
Chess?
Cribbage.
Yes, that's the game you used to play.
Cribbage. I used to beat him, and he'd beat me. But you get a rise out of people when you say, I used to beat Andre all the time. Not in the ring. But on the cribbage board, yeah.
Huh. What was he like backstage?
Andre, to me, was an absolute gentleman. I got along with Andre very, very well. Extremely well. He came to Portland when I was wrestling out of Portland. And I got in the dressing room, and he was already in the dressing room, and he was sitting on the end of the bench, and he had the cribbage board and the cards there, and he goes, that's all he did. I knew, we're going to play cribbage.
Right.
And then he asked me if he could ride with me while he was out there, and I absolutely.
Big drinker, obviously, from the stories that we hear.
Yeah, Andre could put him away.
Now, you had some awesome six-man matches. I actually was there for one of my first shows ever. It was you and Jay and Andre against Blackjack Mulligan and the Samoans. What are your memories of some of those matches?
A lot of them were funny.
Right.
A lot of them were really funny. But they were good. A lot of good matches.
Out of all the wrestling deaths, which have hit you the hardest?
Andre, because him and I used to play cribbage so much, and we were good friends. Andre and I are the same age, and that kind of struck me really hard. Peter Maivia's death, because he was just a class person, and it has to do with the culture. Me being Native American, him being Polynesian, there are some similarities between our two cultures, and that bothered me.
Do you think the Strongbow should be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I should be in the Hall of Fame. Jay should be in the Hall of Fame. We were world champions on 2 occasions, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be.
Who are some other guys that you like to watch perform in the ring?
From my early years, from 1970 to 1979, anybody from the AWA, Pat O'Connor, Terry and Dory Funk. There's a guy, his name is Al Madrill, who was junior heavyweight champion at one time, who's an absolute dream to watch work. The Samoans are I love to watch them work.
Did you ever work Puerto Rico?
I was in Puerto Rico for 3 matches.
For Victor Jovica and Carlos's company?
Yep.
What are your memories of working down there?
It's hot.
Right.
It was very hot because I went down in August.
Where did you work, Bayman and all them?
Yeah.
What are your memories of that little territory with the fans?
Those fans are something else. They really get into it. Those people down there are real diehard fans.
Looking back, do you have any regrets?
Yeah, the only regret I have is I didn't start sooner. When I decided to go on the road in 1979 and go at it full time, I had one goal, was to wrestle in every major wrestling arena in the country. And at that point, I would have been satisfied. To become a world's champion, either tag team world champion or a singles world champion for some of the small independent groups, was beyond my dreams. my dream was to wrestle in every major wrestling arena in the country, and I succeeded in doing that.
Oh, go ahead.
From the Cow Palace to Madison Square Garden to the Sportatorium in Dallas, Milwaukee Civic Center, Minneapolis Civic Center, Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles, the Spectrum in Philadelphia, Landover in Maryland. I sat down with somebody one time and we were talking about it, and they said, there's on an average year at that time there was probably 20,000 wrestlers in the business. Maybe 200 will get to go to New York in a career. I was one of those guys that got to started in the AWA, went to the NWA, went to the WWF, and I consider myself, number one, very lucky that I was able to do it. Apparently, guys throughout the business, throughout my career, thought that I was talented enough to get me, put me in positions where I was able to do that thing. And it was everybody's dream and only a few people's reality. I'm one of the lucky ones that it became a reality.
Did you ever work any territories with Dusty and Flair?
Minneapolis.
Flair?
Yes.
When he first started?
Yeah, when he had brown hair and was chubby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran into Ric Flair in Washington, D.C. And he was the NWA World Champion at the time. And I was sitting in the dressing room talking to Ivan Koloff. And he walked in with Lex Luger right behind him. And Rick goes, "Hey, Indian, you learn how to work yet?" I went, "No, have you?"
Huh.
And Luger's mouth fell open, like, who the hell are you to be talking to Ric Flair like that? And he come and grabbed me and hugged me.
Oh,
no,
okay,
Ric
right.
Flair did. And it was, one of those things that some people only experience in their dreams. To have a world champion talk to me like I was his equal, to me was the reality of a dream. And I wrestled Rick in Dallas, Texas, at the big building. I don't know, they call it the Hemisphere or something like that. And we had 18,000 people screaming for about 14 minutes. And for the first 5 minutes, all we did was stand nose to nose. And we had 18,000 people screaming. That's the kind of man he was. That's the kind of heat he had. Probably still got it too.
That was awesome. In closing, is there anything you want to say to your fans out there that you never had a chance to say to before?
Thanks. Thanks for allowing me the absolute pleasure of performing for you.
Thanks for being here today. And you know what? Before we hang, what do you do today?
Right now I work for the largest retail company in the world. And I live on my own reservation in Wisconsin. And I work with a part of our health clinic there. Some years ago I developed type 2 diabetes, and we've got a diabetes program in Green Bay right now on the Oneida Reservation. And it's called Triad, Taking Responsibility and Addressing Diabetes. And me and a Native American comedian named Charlie Hill, have kind of become the poster boys for, addressing the diabetes situation. And I'm working with them to bring information, awareness, and the fact that you can live with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and do, have a pretty normal life at it, and it's something that I find fulfilling. I'm helping my people, doing what I was told by some elders quite some time ago that would happen, and enjoying it.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.